SBC, Southern Baptist Convention Executive Committee. If it is wrong there on the bus, then it is wrong in schools. It is wrong in restaurants. It is wrong in other places. Park stands not only help blacks throughout the country, but also help everybody, Anderson said. It helped this nation live out its creed that all men are created and expect to be treated equally. She pricked our national conscience. She helped all of us, not just blacks. She helped all of us live and become what Yahweh had ordained us to be. Park stands not only help blacks throughout the country, but also helped everybody. Don't you think a white person is better off if they're not treating another human being as subhuman? She helped us too deal with our own demons. If one person is not receiving justice and is not treated fairly and is supported by the law, then that destroys all levels of justice, Anderson said. He hopes that the attention given to Sister Rosa Parks in honor of what she has done and how Yahweh has used her in the civil rights efforts of the United States of America might be one of those signposts to remind us that racial reconciliation is still an important function. You know why she lied under the Capitol Rotunda in state? To remind us that we're still a racially bigoted and hate-filled society. When a man who's an elder in a congregation cannot get his wife to come to the congregation because the rabbi is white, or vice versa, a white family will not attend a congregation because the leadership is black. Was it Tony Evans who said that Sunday morning at 11 a.m. is the most segregated hour in America? We've ended segregation in jobs and at work and in housing, but we still haven't ended it in the house of Yahweh. Which is another reason I don't want to be part of that system. As if I needed more reasons. She was a heroine in our midst. One who taught our nation about courage and determination, said a statement from the National Council of Churches. It is unfortunate that few in this generation who honor Rosa Parks know about the spiritual dimension of her long life, because it was Mashiach who was the guiding light of her years on this earth. As a child, she wrote in '94, I learned from the Bible to trust Yahweh and not be afraid. I felt Yahweh would give me the strength to endure whatever I had to face. Rosa Parks passed into history. More importantly, she would have told you her spirit has passed into eternity with Yeshua HaMashiach. Doug Brinkley opens his biography of Rosa Parks, the matriarch of the civil rights movement, who died October 24th at 92, with a moving account of how her life was rooted in her believing faith. Said Parks, quote, I find such comfort and peace reading my Bible. Its teaching became a way of life and helped me in dealing with day-to-day problems. Quote, we cannot take these blessings for granted. We must share these gifts from Yahweh, whether we are 13 or 83. We must show the world that we are able to correct our mistakes, including homelessness, poor race relations, violence, and move forward to a better society. I know that we can. This nation has always overcome the obstacles it has faced. In other words, if you have a problem, if there's a racial problem, a racial injustice, a racial something that's being done to you, rather than complain about it, why don't you try doing something nonviolent, resistance, and resist the authorities that are acting in the power of the enemy. Instead of complaining and talking about it, why don't you get up and perform a righteous act of civil, peaceful disobedience? Stop bitching.
I like that.
And stop blaming the white man that you don't, from 190 years ago, that you don't have a job.
Yeah.
It amazes me that the black people who have been victimized by the whites and by the government in this country are still looking to the government to solve their problems.
That's right. Thank you. Thank you.
It's not the welfare state that's going to rescue the African American. It is the freedom of a capitalist entrepreneur enterprise where he is treated equally and given the same chance as every other citizen of the United States. Equality. If the government can solve the problems of African Americans, then why hasn't it done so yet? They have a miserable record. The welfare state is not the answer. The answer is getting your own education, getting your own business, establishing a work or an enterprise in enterprise zones, going into the inner city and indulging in capitalism.
Yes.
The only way to beat capitalism and to succeed in capitalism is to be a capitalist.
That's right. Teach.
Rosa Parks said, I have learned that in order to bring about change, you must not be afraid to take the first step. We will fail when we fail to try. Every one of us can make a difference. I'm going to go quickly to comments from world leaders on the passing of the mother of the civil rights movement, Rosa Parks. President George W. Bush. Today America honors the memory of one of the most inspiring women of the 20th century, Rosa Parks. 50 years ago in Montgomery, Alabama, this humble seamstress stood up to the injustice by refusing a bus driver's order that she give up her seat for a white man. Her show of defiance was an act of personal courage that has moved millions, including a young preacher named Martin Luther King Jr. Rosa Parks' example helped touch off the civil rights movement and transformed America for the better. She will always have a special place in American history. And our nation thinks of Rosa Parks and her loved ones today. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And if you don't think he was a prophet, then you either have a little tinge of prejudice or you don't know much about nothing. I mean, have you predicted the day of your passing? Here's a man who stood up the night before he was shot in Memphis and said, like any man, I'd like to live a long life. Longevity has its place, but I'm worried about the threats that are out. I'm not fearing any man, for my eyes see the coming of the glory of the Lord. He knew he was going to be shot. He knew it. He knew it before it happened. And the night before it happened. Dr. King said, Mrs. Parks' arrest was a precipitating factor rather than the course of the protest. Martin Luther King Jr. writes in the 1958 book, Stride Toward Freedom, the cause lay deep in the record of similar injustices. Actually, no one can understand the action of Mrs. Parks unless he realizes that eventually the cup of endurance runs over and human personality cries out, I can take it no longer. She was planted there by her personal sense of dignity and self-respect. She was anchored to that seat by the accumulated indignities of days gone by and the boundless aspirations of generations yet unborn. Powerful stuff.
Yes, it is. Healing stuff.
Douglas Brinkley, author. Her name is a code word against totalitarian governments. There are three names that have resonated in the shanty towns of the third world countries around the world. They are Martin Luther King Jr., Rosa Parks, and Bob Marley. They are more loved by poor people than any other historical figures in recent memory. Marley even had the name right. Yalov, right? Yeah. Parks inspired freedom seekers of all backgrounds, including Japanese Americans who sought reparations for their internment in camps in the United States during World War II. another little dark, dirty secret in our nation's collective conscience and closet. Nelson Mandela. When the former South African President Nelson Mandela, listen to this, visited Detroit in 1990, the elder statesman was overcome with emotion as he greeted Parks. Tears filled his eyes as he walked up to the small old woman with her hair in 2 silver braids across the top of her head, wrote Brinkley in the Parks biography, and in a low, melodious tone, Mandela began to chant, Rosa, Rosa, Rosa Parks. Nelson Mandela later said that Parks was his inspiration while he was jailed, and her example inspired South African freedom fighters. Mandela called Parks the David who challenged Goliath in a 1993 speech at the NAACP convention in Indianapolis. Senator Edward Kennedy called Parks a true American hero. Representative Charles Rangel, Democrat of New York, said, I believe there's a little bit of Rosa Parks in all Americans who have the courage to say enough is enough and stand up for what they believe in. She did such a small thing, but it was so courageous for her as a humble person to do. Jesse Jackson said she sat down, and don't remember, just because I'm quoting somebody whose politics I may not agree with, when it comes to admiring the Hall of Fame of Faith that's still being written, I don't mind quoting anybody. She sat down in order that we might stand up, and the walls of segregation came down. Rosa was a true giant of the civil rights movement. Reverend Al Sharpton said, I think Rosa Parks was truly a historic figure, who singularly on December 1st, 1955, tore down the walls of American segregation and apartheid. One of the highlights of my life was meeting and getting to know her, a gentle woman whose single act changed the most powerful nation in the world. Representative John Lewis, Democrat, Georgia. She must be looked upon as not just the mother of the modern civil rights movement. She must be looked upon as one of the mothers of the new America, of the new South. Oprah Winfrey, quote, I would not be standing here today, nor standing where I stand every day, had she not chosen to sit down. That I know. Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger, in one single day, Rosa Parks made the world face the cause of equality, civil rights, and justice. No words can adequately describe the courage of her actions, the nobility of her character, or the impact she had on an entire nation. Representative John Conyers, Democrat of Michigan. I remember her as an almost saint-like person. I use that term with care. She was very humble. She was soft-spoken. But inside she had a determination that was quite fierce. I didn't just read about her. The power you feel in this church is the power she felt when she walked on this earth and lived in Detroit for year after year. She worked in my office. This was certainly a celebrity staffer if there ever was one. We got along well with her because she had that Mother Teresa-like aura about her that brought peace and harmony. I never heard her in an argument or heard her raise her voice or use angry tones or negative words about anybody. She didn't have it in her. There are very few people who can say their actions and conduct changed the face of the nation. And Rosa Parks is one of those individuals. Reverend Charles Adams. She sat there so that we might sit in higher seats. And because she sat where she sat, we are now sitting in the halls of Congress, sitting on the Supreme Court, as presidents and CEOs of global corporations, heads of Ivy League school, pastors of mega churches, secretaries of state, sitting at the table where cosmic decisions are made. Because she sat there we were able to sit there. And I heard him say that on C-SPAN. Some of you may have seen that, the Rosa Parks funeral at 12 in the morning. At 2:30 I had to go to sleep on the memorial service. I had to go to sleep, I couldn't watch the whole thing. But he was actually called forward to do a prayer. This was a prayer. You should have heard this prayer. I wish I could pray like that. It was more preaching, but I mean, whew, that was powerful. Reverend Bernice King, that's Dr. King's daughter, speaking on behalf of her mother, Coretta Scott King, who just suffered a very serious, life-threatening stroke. Today we mourn the loss of the mother of the movement, a woman whose name will forever be etched in the hearts of freedom-loving people everywhere. You know why I'm sharing this? Another reason? We're Israelites. We should enjoy the taste of freedom everywhere it manifests. Yeah, I'm not black. This has nothing to do with me. If you have that kind of attitude, you're not even an Israelite, because our people were in slavery too. And black Israelites have been enslaved more than twice. And continue to be enslaved in many ways. Miss Rosa Parks, this is Dr. King's daughter. And though we mourn the loss of the singular champion of racial justice, we also celebrate her going home as a woman of unwavering faith, who served Yahweh and humanity with unconditional love and devotion. And I heard Dr. King's daughter say something that was beautiful. She said she was able to sit in that seat and had the power not to get up because she saw the future. Ephesians 2, she knew the word, and she was already seated in heavenly places. And since she was already seated in eternity, she wasn't about to get up on that bus. That was beautiful. And by the way, there are a lot of reverends in the African American community. They're reverends like, I'm an astronaut. It seems like it just goes with sometimes with being African American. The Reverend Doctor, you know, but as soon as Dr. King's daughter started opening her mouth, I knew she was a child of Yahweh, because she was quoting and preaching and expounding on Scripture. Dr. King's daughter is a saved, sanctified woman. A lot of people in the African American community have titles of reverend, but they don't really know Yahweh. This sister knows Yahweh. Amen?
Amen.
President Bill Clinton. Rosa Parks ignited the most significant social movement, listen to this, in modern American history, to finish the work that spawned the Civil War and redeem the promise of the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments. For 50 more years, she moved beyond the bus, continuing her work on that promise. It was my honor to present her with the Presidential Medal of Freedom and to join the leaders of Congress in presenting her with the Congressional Gold Medal. I remember it well when she sat with Hillary in the box of the first family of the State of the Union during the State of the Union address of 1999. And how the entire Congress, Democrats and Republicans alike, rose as one to recognize that she had made us all better people and a better country. When I first met Rosa Parks, I was reminded of what Abraham Lincoln said when he was introduced to Harriet Beecher Stowe, the author of Uncle Tom's Cabin. He said, quote, "So this is the little lady who started the Great War." This time Rosa's war was fought by Martin Luther King's rules. Civil disobedience, peaceful resistance, but a war nonetheless. For one America, in which the law of the land means the same thing for everybody. Rosa Parks, as we saw again today, was small in stature, with delicate features, but the passing years did nothing to dim the light that danced in her eyes. The kindness and strength you saw in her smile, the dignity of her voice. Till the end she radiated the kind of grace and serenity that Yahweh especially gives to those that stand in the line of fire for freedom and touch even the hardest of hearts. Now that our friend Rosa Parks has gone on to her just reward, now that she has gone home and left us behind, let us never forget that in that simple act, a lifetime of grace and dignity, she showed us every single day what it means to be free. She made us see and agree that everyone should be free. Yahweh bless you, Rosa. Yahweh bless you. John Kerry. No one could ever forget meeting Rosa Parks. Anyone with the privilege of doing so met her extraordinary strength, grace, and humility. We were all impressed beyond words. Her conviction in taking on the army of power that was against her. Rosa Parks reminded many, but she taught even more what the word speaking truth to power really meant. In an era where words like patriot, courage are thrown around too easily, the small woman armed with her belief in Yahweh and her sense of right and wrong stood and gave meaning to the words courage, patriot. She loved the dream of our country more than she loved herself. Now we read in Hebrews 11:35 and 36. She loved her dead children. They were alive, they were citizens, but they were second class. She loved more than she loved her own redemption. Hello? She loved the dream of our country more than she loved herself and worked to live it. In the struggle for civil rights, some were called to stand up, and some were called to simply sit down on a bus to Montgomery. Comments from religious leaders. Gary Frost, Executive Director of the Metropolitan New York Baptist Association, former second Vice President of the Southern Baptist Convention, said when he faced any obstacle, any discouragement, that faith is a strong attribute to have. Through the years, I've admired the gentle strength and humble resolve of Sister Parks. She is much more than a symbol of nonviolent protest. She is the epitome of a peacemaker, said Frost, who played a pivotal role in the SBC's adoption of Racial Reconciliation Resolution